Ghana Gas has described as misleading and mischievous claims by the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana that the liquefied petroleum gas supplied by Aboagye Gas Company is of poor quality. COPEC says the gas is contaminated and could cause explosions. We'll hear from Ghana Gas in a moment, but watch this clip of the Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amwa.
What we gather and our reports indicate that Aboagye is putting on the market LPG that is quite high in propane. Now, what that means is that you would have a higher, pressure point, and unfortunately, whatever other gases or odorants they are also adding gives the gas some bad, smell. Beyond the fact that the gas that they are putting on the market is questionable, also is the issue of pricing. Now, for the past 4 months, per our records and per our checks, prices that Aboagye put onto the market has consistently been higher than what the imported gas prices have been from the BDCs. And this has largely been attributed to the fact that the zonalization program by the NPA gives Aboagye exclusive rights to sell and load gas to some particular regions in the country. Exclusive. That means there's no competition from any BDC whatsoever for those regions and as far as consumption is concerned. And so Aboagye is enjoying a certain amount of monopoly in certain parts of the country, and that largely is making them price the way they are doing. As I speak with you, we are quite aware of protests by the LPG marketers, but that notwithstanding, we at COPEC would have expected Aboagye to be a game changer by way of managing prices so efficiently so that the BDCs and whatever prices they import and quote for would have been driven lower by Aboagye's prices. Unfortunately, Aboagye is rather leading them by sometimes 40 pesos. And that cannot be good enough. Our local gas processor should have a plan of making a lot more Ghanaians from the 25% we have today of LPG penetration. Aboagye should drive and lead the way to make a lot more Ghanaians sign on to LPG. Sadly, that is not what Aboagye seems to be doing currently, and we think both the Energy Ministry and the NPA should take a second look at the way and manner Aboagye is operating currently, the quality they are putting on the market, and the sort of prices that they are also churning out as far as the zonalization and exclusivity is concerned. It is not helping all of us.
All right, so that was Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amwa, speaking to us a couple of days ago about issues with the quality of LPG supplied by Aboagye. Well, joining me in studio is Head of Corporate Communications at Ghana Gas, Kofi Owusu-Bempah-Bonsu. Thanks very much for your time this afternoon. So what's your reaction to the claims by COPEC about the quality of gas supplied by Aboagye?
Thanks for having me. First of all, it's very important that when it comes to this technical area in terms of oil and gas, we need to be very, very careful pronunciations in terms of what we say. I mean, clearly talking about pricing, I have to go clearly with the last 6 months breakdown of what we do in terms of pricing. When you look at this diagram here, I didn't bring a copy so that we can show you to the last 6 months, the amount that we charge per the dollar rate in terms of the charges that we do. Here you look at it, the standard price per reference Argus butane AR. That is the standard price for the Standard Authority. That's what we use for all the industry. When you look at this, this is what is called the other producers or importers from other countries. And this is 169.4 per metric ton. And they put insurance and freight charges, which is $86, premium is $30, and then a total amount is $285.45. This is Ghana Gas price, which is 169.45, which we don't charge freight, we don't charge premium, we don't charge any discount. and it's the lowest within the industry. I mean, talking about the imported ones in Ghana Gas. So I don't know where he got his information from in terms of what he's talking about in terms of pricing. We follow the local and international safety standards. I mean, in terms of international pricing standards, in terms of what we put out there. So the last 6 months, when you talk about the quality of gas, the last 6 months we've been doing what we call 7.46 kilogram per centimeter cube, which is the standard that Ghana Gas is producing per quality. And when you look at it from the Ghana Standard Authority measurement, is 9.5 kilogram per centimeter cube, which is way below what he's talking about. So basically, I mean, when he talks about all these things, that the issues that he's raised is fall flat based on what he's saying here. Pricing is, I don't know totally what he's talking about in terms of pricing, in terms of what issues that he raised on the subject matter that he's talking about.
I should think that the COPEC is coming from the perspective of a consumer and what they expect. I don't really know what backs the claims of the gas causing explosions and all of that.
That is also important, that it's not in the domain of Ghana Gas to determine whether gas that we produce from there, we follow the international safety
But it should be of interest for you.
We follow the international.
It goes to the consumer eventually.
I'm coming to my point. We follow the international safety protocols.
Okay.
I mean, wherever we have the oil and gas industry, Ghana Gas is one of the top notch when it comes to the production of gas per the safety and protocols that we're supposed to follow. I mean, we've won several awards internationally, which indicates that we have what it takes. And the Standard Authority, locally and internationally, we have standards that we're supposed to produce the gas. So when you talk about explosions, you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot use a tanker or a facility that takes 5.9 kg to go and pick a gas coming from Atuabo, which is 7.46 kg.
So is the problem with the tankers?
So no, you're looking at the system, safety protocols, that after Atuabo, what happened next? We have only one company who is a monopoly, who is off-taker, final off-taker for delivery of gas to other consumers, which is Quantum and Sig. They're supposed to make sure that the right thing is done from there to the consumer to the next level.
So I just want to establish the point. So you're saying that it's about the delivery and not the product itself, or the circumstances through which the product is delivered to the market? I'm
talking about Ghana Gas, our domain, where COPEC is making allegations that is unsubstantiated. And I've told you about pricing, which fall flat. Our prices are very low as compared to what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I'm giving you figures here.
No, I just wanted us to deal with the issues of quality, because when I raised issues about potential explosions, I don't know where COPEC is getting those claims from. You are making reference to tankers, and so I just wanted to establish the point whether or not it is the product or the mode of delivery.
Before the product leave the gantry point at the final destination at Atuabo Gas to Quantum and Sig, all the safety protocols in terms of the measurement, the safety standard that's supposed to be followed have been adhered to.
Right.
And we are doing it per the international standards.
Okay.
I mean,
so then you raised a point about tankers that I wanted you to explain very well so that we get a good understanding. That
is what I'm saying, that if, let's say, I told you about the local international standard per what we produced last month, it's about 7.46 kg. And then you use a tanker maybe to do 5.7 or 5.6 to do 7.7 or 7.6. Gas is compressed and put into a confinement. Definitely the pressure would want to come out, and then it will just cause explosion in terms of how they go about it. So it's not coming from Ghana Gas. All these statements that was made out there in terms of pricing and quality and all these things that is raised, it's not here. It's neither here nor there.
Well, I guess at the heart of this is the consumer who wants to be assured that they are getting quality gas and they are getting gas they can pay or they can afford. What assurances can you give to consumers?
Ghana Gas can give them assurance that we are producing the gas which is of best quality per the international standard. And we have the lowest pricing that you can tell based on the figures that we're giving per international standard. So our pricing from international compared to the international one, imported one from ours is the lowest when you compare the two. So I don't know where COPEC is coming from in terms of that. So we can give them assurance that Ghana Gas is working with the people of Ghana, and then our pricing and our quality is up to standard.
Would you fancy engaging COPEC in future to?
Of course. I mean, that's why we put out a statement, and the statement talks about all the technical issues that they put out there, the issues that they raised, and all the things that they've talked about in terms of the pricing and then the quality.
Okay.
We've always we set the record straight in terms of our press statement.
Thank you so much for the clarification. Head of Corporate Communications at Ghana Gas, Kofi Owusu Bempah Bonsu.